let's get into it, folks. Before we get started with the topic of tonight's episode, got to take care of something a little awkward and weird. Not really sure, I haven't been in this situation before, but we have to address actually something that seriously happened behind the stages, or behind the stage, sorry. This is just odd. This is just weird. I don't really know how to talk about
Luigi
this.
killed a hooker.
I killed 7 hookers. He doesn't even know about all of them. All right, so I actually spent the week
I have 2 lives left.
I spent the week thinking that I wasn't going to talk about this, and with a little bit of, I don't know, encouragement, I was convinced that we should talk about this. So here we go. Let's get into it. We did a show last week on Tommy Morrison. Spurksnake joined us, and the show was about all of the evidence to suggest that Mr. Morrison had HIV, lied about it, went through a phase of denial about it, and then ultimately died as a cause of it. Believe it or not, Tommy Morrison's widow saw the show. And I'm being serious here, folks. And started following me on X. And it was a little bit awkward and weird knowing what we said and everything that we talked about. But I'm very proud of what we did. And we said everything that was a matter of record and evidence to suggest our opinions on it.
AIDS brain.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
We're not going to take back anything that we said. We thought everything we said was perfectly reasonable to say, and the conclusions we drew were based in reason and logic. Now, that being said, I did reach out to Mrs. Morrison.
Hang on one second.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It started like I got the follow, and I was like, oh my god, holy shit. So I DM'd Luigi. I'm like, holy shit, look who's following me. And he was like, is that the real one? And I'm like, yeah, because by the name. Yeah. And then he messaged me back also, and then he was like, holy shit, she's following me too. And we're like, oh. And then everything went from there. So it was just, we were all like, at first we were giddy as fuck that she actually followed us.
Yeah, it was weird, and I didn't believe it at first. I didn't trust it, and I mean, we could dwell on all the details, but I don't really want to do that. But I'll just try to get over this as fast as I can, because I feel like I do owe it to the audience. I know we don't have a huge audience, but I do feel like we owe it to them for an explanation of how things kind of went south. So I reached out to Mrs. Morrison, and I asked her if she was interested in coming on the show, even though we talked on the show about how I didn't want to give her a platform to spout her pseudoscience nonsense. But I still felt like it might have been a good thing to have her on. And I was very professional, tried to give her every encouragement to come on and every, reason to come on. I promised that we weren't going to argue with her. We weren't going to be, we weren't going to have any conflict or adversarial, tone or anything. I was going to let her talk. And from there, she started to tell me a lot of things about how she felt that she saw the show. And I just, I don't know. It was a little weird. So, from there, I again tried to encourage her to come on the show, and she began to start telling me her point of view when I asked her to just, say it on the show. And she began to just start telling me all of these things about how Tommy didn't have HIV, didn't have AIDS. And I was professional. That's all I can really say. I'm really just trying to give it some detail, but I really guess I shouldn't. I was just professional. That's all I was. At which point I said, look, if there's something you want me to read or say, or to, dig into for my own edification about your point of view, please send it to me. And she did. She sent me 24 emails, each with a new document that made her case for him not having AIDS a full-on conspiracy. And it made me very uncomfortable. It was a little too much. It was overwhelming, all this stuff she sent me that just really kind of went nowhere. And then at one point she started asking me some very private questions because she made it clear that she didn't find it right that a lawyer was saying what we were saying. And she
should have told her, I don't agree with women being this outspoken. Fuck off.
At which point I just started to distrust our quote unquote relationship, if you want to call it that. I started to get very nervous that she was going to try to dox me, and I refused to play along with answering her private questions, and I just shut it down. I had Dr. Steve lined up while we were discussing this. I contacted Dr. Steve and asked him if he would come on to discuss the medical realities of the situation, to discuss his description from a medical point of view, and he was willing. He said that he wanted to do it, and I am very, very grateful to Dr. Steve. However, once things kind of went south, I told Dr. Steve it wasn't necessary, but I'd still love to have him on the show, and he said he'd love to be on the show. So, all right. So I just basically had to cut it off before it got any deeper, and I guess that's it. But I didn't want to talk about this because it really made me angry. It really, really pissed me off. But I think Gummi and Corndiff kind of encouraged me to talk about this, and we thought the audience might want to know.
Yeah.
So there it is. Now,
dude.
If I'm missing anything, please help me, because I know everybody here knows the story. But also, if you have anything you want to say or talk about, please, let's talk. So,
So here's the thing. Here was my observation, right?
Please.
So we're a small show, so
tiny. We're tiny. We're nobody.
Right. So it's not like we got enough build to be like trending or nothing like that, right? So it's not like that. It's not like, the name's out there. So she's actively looking up her husband all these years later, because how else is she going to track us down? You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Yeah, that was odd. That was a little odd.
The fact she found us, I'm like, holy shit, she's fucking Google searching the shit out of his ass, to this day.
Buzzwords, Google searching keywords or something like that.
Yeah, because there's no way we'd be on anybody's fucking radar. So right there, that's like, holy shit, that's just a red flag like a motherfucker. But yeah, that was like my big takeaway was like, wow.
It was shocking. It was a very odd thing. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Spurg.
No, yeah. I think you avoided some trouble there. Definitely, because she, like Gummi just said, she's actively grifting on this. And I think that this was, like you said, it's not a big show, but really it ain't a small show either. I mean, comparatively, maybe, sure, but that's how often she has to insert herself into things in order to stay relevant. And AIDS denying is a rough one. That's all. You said you were going to get Dr. Steve. That's almost like having to get a geologist to explain it to people that flat Earth isn't real or something to that effect.
You're absolutely right, and that. Oh my God, you hit the nail on the head there, because that was my exact argument for not giving this any attention. Was I didn't want to give it a platform to spread this nonsense, and then as soon as I started thinking about having Dr. Steve on, it's like I'm dignifying it or validating it, and I was like, no, this isn't what I want. I don't want to do this, and it felt very dirty and weird, and that was part of the reason why I just didn't want to continue this. I was like, no, we're done, and I just stopped. You're absolutely right. I feel like there was something else.
Oh, yes. I got it. What she said, how we ended the episode?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She did not. She did not like the AIDS jingle from Team America.
Well, it was like the sentence was, and you guys had the nerve to end with a jingle. And even I forgot. I was like, what the hell was the jingle? It was the fucking AIDS song, though, the Rent parody from Team America.
Yes.
So, does she think we wrote that? Because the way she said with a jingle.
So.
The jingle made me laugh so hard. Like, that's so funny. What a word to use. It's like,
I know.
That
sounds like a commercial. Like, when I think of jingle, I think of like a commercial. Like,
I'm loving it. Like, that's a jingle, you know? Yeah, that's what I mean. She cheapened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That makes me think that she bobbed her head to it.
That's what I'm gonna believe. Yeah, man, this was just weird. This was a weird week for me. And it was weird to keep it a secret. It was weird to talk about it. It was weird to bring it up. And I guess to some extent I was on board with having her on, discussing it, and I was planning on being, true to my word that I was not going to make it adversarial. I wasn't going to make it a conflict. But at the same time, I was just like, man, I just don't want to give this a platform. And then someone brought to my attention something I hadn't thought about, which is YouTube is a little inconsistent, however, very, very direct in their punishment for misinformation. And I could be putting the channel at risk by having her on should YouTube decide that that is misinformation. I really thought we kind of had our bases covered with, us arguing an opposite point, but you just never know how that's going to be perceived. That would just be a lot of headaches if it were to be perceived the wrong way. And how ironic would it be that a skeptic channel gets taken down for misinformation? It's odd. It's where, oh, hey, Dang Lizard, thank you very much for the $5 croissant dollars.
Oui.
Yeah.
I agree that it's not right that a kitten in a corner saying all these things. As a lizard person myself, I just get why you would do that.
Yeah.
Matt Hibner, thank you for the encouragement. I appreciate it. It says he says you were right to drop it. Nothing good would have come from it. That's how I feel. I don't feel that any good would have come from it, but I still felt an obligation to try to squeeze a little bit of good juice from that fruit, if that makes any sense at all. But it just
you want vitamin C, not vitamin HIV.
Yes, exactly. I saw something up here. Hold on. Where'd it go? All right. Well, maybe we're done with it. Here we go.
Sorry, go for it.
No, say for the Howard Stern fans, did you try using shoo retarded flu on her? It usually works with the feeble-minded.
We will control all that you see and hear.
I want my planet back. I want my planet back. I want my planet back.
That's right, it sucks.